Okay, good. Let me ask you something.
Yes.
Um, there is something also I don't think we discussed. There is isolated. When you create functions, there is isolated and there is something else.
Yes.
Worker.
Yes.
Yeah. Are we gonna discuss them or?
That's, I believe you are talking about the uh, hosting plan, right? Like consumption plan we use while creating the function app. That's where we get the option of isolated and
Ah, okay.
yeah. So
And
isolated
what's the
is like
difference?
where you have a physical machine hosting your function.
Mm,
Function doesn't change, behavior doesn't change, usage doesn't change. It's just that the uh, hosting environment where the difference comes in. Like consumption plan is like you don't have any dedicated resources, committed resources. As
mm,
and when the call to the function comes up, the resources are occupied on the fly, your function executes, and the
uh-huh.
resources go back to the pool immediately, right? So there is no virtual
Mm.
machine running all the time for your function.
That's the
Then,
isolated?
uh, no, that's consumption plan.
Okay.
Isolated would be where there is a physical machine acting as a server to host your function. It's not serverless.
Okay. Okay.
Consumption plan represents serverless behavior.
I'm talking about a service worker.
Yes, that's a different thing altogether. So that we will discuss later. Okay.
Okay, okay, that's good.
So isolated, I hope you understood, right?
It has its own
We'll
physical.
discuss it again in
Okay,
detail, right?
okay, okay. That's good.
So for
That's good.
now, let's understand functions in general, regardless of which
Of course.
hosting plan you are working with, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
after
Sure,
that,
sure.
we can have a discussion on these things.
Of
So
course.
I believe the function app we created in the last session,
Mm,
uh, the function creation itself is something which is pending, right?
yeah.
So that we'll see with four types of triggers to start with.
Mm-hmm.
And you can explore the other triggers likewise based on what we learn over here. And then
Okay.
we will be also going ahead with the
Implementation or
durable functions in the next session.
audio function. Okay, okay.
Okay.
Good.
So once we are done with that, then the
Mm-hmm.
hosting plans we will discuss again in the next to next session. Okay.
Okay. Good.
So let's get started. Let me go to the
And
portal
maybe
first of
on the
all.
next session, if you remember, I shared with you
Yes.
a design. Maybe we need to
Yes.
check it out on the next
Yeah.
session. Okay.
Yeah. So here we created the function app
Yeah.
by this name, right?
Yeah.
Here we didn't basically select any kind of environment on which the function app will be created, like .NET or Python or Java or something else. We
Mm-hmm.
didn't selected anything. No runtime we selected here, right?
Yeah.
Because function app has nothing to do with the exact platform. It just
Okay.
needs the hosting plan. That's it. And we
Yeah.
selected which type of plan? Flex consumption plan is what we selected.
Mm-hmm.
Now, here you can see this is not clickable. What it means, the plan on which your function app is deployed can be
Mm.
selected only when you deploy the function app. Once deployed, you
Okay.
cannot change it.
I see.
Right. So here you can see there is nothing for scalability part as such
Uh-huh.
anywhere. Right. You cannot change your plan. Scale and concurrency though is there, but that is only about the instancing.
Yep.
Right. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay. So here are functions whichever we create and deploy, they will come under this option, functions.
Mm. Yep.
Right. And they're also
Sa
under app keys, they
Saket, I'm
will be
sorry to
visible.
interrupt you, but your
Yes.
voice is muffling. It's
Okay,
muffled.
okay, okay, okay. Let me check. Or I'll just disconnect and connect again.
Okay.
Is it good now?
It's the same, but that's fine. It's okay.
Yeah.
that's fine. Usually it's really crystal clear. But
Yeah,
now, yeah,
I believe there is some driver update because of which it is going bad today. It's still
no problem.
under process, so
It's okay.
hopefully it will improvise.
It's,
Okay,
it's okay.
so I hope my screen is visible.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so I am back on the overview tab over here, and here
Uh-huh.
also it shows our functions that are deployed. Now, previously, Azure portal allowed us to create some simple functions right on the portal itself, but that is
Mm,
something which now is not supported anymore. To create the functions, you need to go for some development environment like VS Code or any other editors like
mm.
Notepad++ or Sublime Text, or you can use the full-fledged Visual Studio Professional or Enterprise
Of
Edition
course.
also, right?
Of course.
And that's a better option because when you are working with complex uh, scenarios, complex code scenarios, you will need to debug the code also. You will need to test the
Of
code
course.
also locally before you get it deployed, right?
Of course.
So,
Yep.
anyways, we used to work with this kind of environments earlier also. Just that for simple functions, we had another option on portal. So,
Yep.
point is for those simple functions also now we have to use this environment.
Yeah.
Okay. So, how do we create a function then for Azure? So here we go and select new project. Now again, it depends on like what kind of function, I mean, what kind of technology platform you are going to use. If you are going to use Java for creating Azure functions, probably you will need Eclipse editor.
Mm.
Eclipse editor is the best editor for Java development. For
Yep.
Node.js, you can use VS Code also, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Python also can be created using VS Code as well. So
Mm-hmm.
depends like which platform you are planning to use to build your function app, right?
Yeah.
Based on that, you can decide like
Yep.
which editor you are going to use. So I have decided to use VS Enterprise. And here, when we say new project, it comes up with the choice of language. Now, from these language, C Sharp or Python can be used for creating the Azure functions. We will
Yeah.
be targeting C Sharp language.
Of course.
This is not platform specific. Anyways, we will be deploying on Azure. So you can actually say Azure is the platform. And
Mm.
here in this third drop down, you can select Azure as well or cloud. If Azure is
Mm.
not there, there will be an option called as
Cloud.
cloud. And there
Uh-huh.
you get the option as Azure
Oh,
functions directly,
yeah. You're filtering here. Okay.
right?
Yeah.
And then next, give the name to the project. Let's say this is AZ underscore demo funk app as
Mm.
the name I give. Wherever I want to put it, the location is already set as we
Yeah.
used this location previously. It remembers that. And I say next. Then it asks for which, see, this is where your other question comes up.
Mm-hmm.
Which uh, platform, I mean, under .NET only, which exact version of the platform you want.
Mm.
So .NET 8 is supported, 9 is supported, and pretty soon .NET 10 will be supported as well. In fact,
Yeah.
it's there. Isolated V4 is .NET 10 only, right?
Mm.
You can see .NET 9 support is ending on May 12, 2026. This is short-term support version only, right?
Ah.
This one is going to take time. Around 2028, it will retire. By
Mm.
when .NET 11, 12 also will be out, right? So
Yeah.
obviously this is going to be, redundant.
Yep.
Then here for .NET 8, we have got two options like in process or isolated. What
Isolated.
this is, if you go for isolated, in that case, basically, it needs a virtual machine where the .NET framework, .NET 8.0 is already installed. And
Mm.
there a process is created explicitly for you. In process means something which will be deployed on some app service environment, and app service environment will have .NET 8 already installed into it as well.
Mm.
So it will just run inside that app service as a in-process hosting model. So here we will go for isolated because our
So
function is totally
isolated.
independent. We have not deployed
Mm.
any app service. Isolated will be the thing to go.
Okay.
And then
So
we have
isolated
function.
is you'll have its own virtual
Right,
machine, but
right,
in
right.
process, it will be in the app service.
Yes, in the app service. So
Okay.
as we have selected consumption plan, right? Consumption
Yeah.
flex consumption plan. Only isolated is what is going to be supported on it.
Okay. I'm not
Right.
understanding that 100%, but that's fine.
Uh, Consumption plan means what? It is on
Yeah,
the
yeah,
fly resource that it
yeah,
takes. So
yeah, yeah.
it needs to have its own environment there, right? Own virtual
Mm-hmm.
machine.
Yeah.
Occupied dynamically at runtime. And that
Okay.
suits the isolated version, right?
Mm-mm.
So that's what it is.
And the isolated is better because it has its own virtual machine.
Right,
So, okay.
right.
But with the
So
other one, you're sharing your resources with others.
yeah. So with
Okay.
other Azure functions or maybe app services, you will be competing. Your
Yeah,
own only, but there will be a competition for resources, right?
I got you. Okay.
Okay. So .NET 8 isolated is what we select. Then
Mm-hmm.
this is a feature Azure
Mm.
for runtime storage account, Azure Web
Yeah.
Job Storage. This is where it creates a simulator for storage account to
The
be used
storage bins.
locally in
Yep.
case if your internet connection is not working
Yeah.
and your code depends on storage account.
Yeah.
So it will simulate that storage account on local machine itself. And additionally, see what it does is for key management, timer trigger
Mm.
management, logging, and event up checkpoint creation also, it will be
Mm.
using the storage account. That's where it will be important.
I
Azure.
got you.
Then
Uh,
there is trigger type. See, there are so many triggers.
yeah.
Now, what is trigger in general in terms of event driven programming?
An event happened, like
Like I click this
for
button, or
yeah,
I select something in this drop down, or I
yeah,
type something in this text box, or I check this checkbox, right?
yeah,
That's
yeah.
event,
Mm,
and that's the trigger, right?
true.
Trigger is the activity which actually causes the event to fire and
Mm-hmm.
run the associated event handler, right? That's why it is named as
Yes.
trigger. Something similar to the gun, right?
Yeah.
Uh, so here, first trigger that
Yeah.
I'm going to try out is timer trigger.
Uh-huh.
You can
Yeah.
see the name themselves are more or less uh, given in such a way that they are self-explanatory,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
What type of trigger it is? Like Cosmos DB trigger, if I use, what does it mean?
If there's an
Any
update on the
Cosmos DB
database,
event will be
yep.
responsible for running this function.
Yeah.
Likewise, we have got event grid trigger. So if event is
Mm,
coming from event grid trigger.
good.
There is blob trigger. So any
Yeah.
blob upload, download activity is happening,
Yep.
right? This
Yeah.
trigger will be fired and so on.
Yeah.
SQL Server trigger also there, MySQL trigger also there, right? Signal R
Yeah.
triggers are there, service bus topic, service bus queue trigger also there,
Mm.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Even third party stuff is also there like RabbitMQ and Dapper, right?
Mm-hmm.
These are not Microsoft services. Dapper is not
Yeah.
Microsoft. RabbitMQ
Yeah.
is not Microsoft thing, right?
Mm. Mm-mm.
So even
True.
that is also there, and this list is growing.
Of course. You know what? I see
Yes,
that a lot, it opened the question for me. I see
yes.
that a lot of people are more on Kafka than .NET is.
Yes, so that is because Kafka is entirely platform independent thing and it has been a player in the industry for a long time.
Mm.
As people have already worked on it, already adapted it long time back, even before Azure got introduced. That's why
Yeah.
people look to go for it. And again, it depends on, what kind of features my application needs.
Mm.
If the kind of queuing environment that I'm using is not supporting my need, of course, I'll be looking for something else, right?
Yep.
That's where Kafka queues and topics and all those features come in, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for now, I'm going to select timer trigger. Four type of triggers we are going to try, right?
Mm-hmm.
Azurite, I keep enabled. Container
Mm-hmm.
support is optional. If you
Yeah.
want your function to be running as a Docker container
Docker.
hosted function, in that case, you will select this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't need. And this containerization can be done at later point in time also after creating the function before getting it deployed to the Azure. Okay.
Yeah.
Then comes the schedule. There you see some expression which is called as cron expression, right?
Wrong expression.
And
Yeah.
this is something which you use to configure your function for the schedule, like when it will run. So
Yeah.
hours, minutes, seconds. That's how it is basically configured. Hours,
Yep.
minutes, seconds, milliseconds, microseconds, and so on. So for
Mm-hmm.
now, it is configured for what? What this cron expression is. Let's
Five
do a
seconds.
quick Google search.
Yeah. That's what I do
Explain
usually.
this. Easy because platform to platform sometimes, though the cron expressions are usually the same, but still
Yeah.
their configuration from technology to technology varies, right?
Yep.
So it's better to verify what this cron
Of
expression
course.
is. So
I
here comes
always
the
do.
detailing, right?
Yep.
It schedules a task to run every
5 minutes.
5 minutes, right?
Hmm.
0 hours, 5 minutes. And
Yep.
I can make this change to whatever it is. See, here I am having the details about this also. It actually starts from seconds. The task runs at the 0th second of the minute, and then every 5 minutes it runs 0, 5, 10, 15, and so on. Hours
Mm-hmm.
means every hour of the day it will keep on running. Every day of the month it will keep on running. Every month it will keep on running. Every day of the week it will keep on running.
Yeah.
Right? So all these positions are explained over here. So
Yeah.
there are some examples also, right? So basically for now it's like every 5 minutes it's going to run. What I'll do is I'll make it run every 2 minutes or every 1 minute. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I go back and replace 5 with 2 or 1
Mm-hmm.
in fact
Yeah.
and create. This expression then can be changed later on also after the function code is created. You can see timer
Mm-hmm.
trigger actually comes as an attribute and
Yeah.
its argument is the cron expression. I can change it any point in time.
Yeah.
This timer trigger attribute has been applied to an object of type timer
Mm-hmm.
info. The
Yeah.
object is named as my timer. My timer gives me the detail about this cron expression on
Yeah.
the basis of which I can code my function. Now you can see what it has done is it created a uh, .NET 8 application only. So again, the startup is program.cs.
Mm-hmm.
Top level code it has used, right?
Yep.
And using statements and then, typical .NET 8.0 pipeline creation. Create builder, then builder dot configure function web application. So that automatically adds the configuration for the functions, Azure functions, and then the dependency being registered, right?
Mm.
Including the app insights telemetry. If configured, it will start working, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then we are saying builder dot run. So it starts the listeners also immediately.
Yep.
Typical .NET 8 pipeline creation, right?
Yeah.
And then here we have the configuration files like local.settings.json. This configuration is something that we need to replicate then in Azure app service configuration or function
Mm.
configuration. Then the common application server oriented configuration goes from here, host.json. These two are config files. This
Yeah.
will be deployed. This will not be deployed. This has to be
Of course.
created explicitly on the function deployment
Mm.
portal, right? And your function code actually goes in this file, function1.cs. This is a
So.
class created by
Mhm.
the name function1. I
Mhm.
can rename this to something like my timer
So
functions.
usually the host, what does it have? The host, the JSON.
Server configurations basically, server
Okay.
specific. Application specific configuration go here. And
Uh-huh.
these will be
Mm-hmm.
used only on local machine.
Okay.
Once deployed, Azure
Yeah,
configuration needs to have those entries.
of
Okay.
course.
And this will be deployed as it is, so it will be applicable even after deployment on the host environment. So our consumption plan will get the input from here, right?
Yep.
Like server startup and all. Okay, now see this class is also renamed here. Logger, you can understand any logger which has been registered
Mm-hmm.
will get the log entries. By
Yeah.
default, the console logger is registered, right? You can
Yep.
add more loggers by editing your program.cs file.
Yeah.
Correct? Just like
True.
we do for any .NET application. Correct? There is
Of
nothing
course.
different. This is .NET application only. Now comes a function named as run.
Yeah.
And there is an attribute before this function, that is function,
Uh-huh.
okay, which actually gives the name to this function. And by this name, it will be exposed on Azure portal. Okay. So let's say task running every 1 minute is the name of the function by which I
Mm-hmm.
want to expose it on the Azure portal, right?
Yeah.
I can change it to anything. In .NET, the function name is always going to be run
Run.
by
Of
default,
course.
right? And then see some logging already happening here. Then
Yeah.
here also there is some sample code which checks if the schedule status is not null, means schedule status
Mm.
actually is there, the cron expression is still active.
Mm.
It basically shows when the function is going to run next,
Next.
right?
Yeah.
Now, what I'm looking for is maybe instead of this, let's give some nice name to it. Uh, Let me name this as maintenance. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Assume that every 1 minute I'm going to run some job which does some maintenance activity.
Yeah.
So I gave the name as maintenance to it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the function body goes in. So first of all, I want to put this log, right?
Yeah.
And let's say this also I want when it is going to run next. And in between goes the actual task,
Yeah.
right? I'll simulate that by saying underscore logger dot log information performing schedule maintenance tasks, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I put this information in console also. Direct console dot write line statement I'm using just for our understanding. Will be helpful for debugging, right? Just
No.
like tracing.
Yes.
Okay. Same message I put over here. And log information or log error or log critical, these functions are built into the logger service, iLogger service, and they come with some color coding also by default, right? When logged on
Yep.
console. Like error is automatically colored red, information is white, right? And so on. Warning is usually yellow, correct?
Yep.
Uh, so I save this and I want to test this function before I deploy. So I can, because this is Visual Studio, I can use this start button. I can run the function locally on my machine itself. So in this case, there will be no use of the Azure subscription or Azure at all.
Yep.
No usage, and I'll not be charged at all. Until and unless I don't get satisfied with this, I will probably not deploy my function at all to Azure. See, the function started, it
Mm-hmm.
detected the function, and it says .NET isolated runtime it is using, right? So it's
Yep.
working just like if it is working on Azure as a simulation, right?
Yep.
And using the same environment. Here the worker process got started and initialized.
Mm-hmm.
Function that got detected here is the function with the name maintenance using
Mm-hmm.
timer trigger. It's
Mm-hmm.
running, right? And here we should be able to see some output from the function every 1 minute. So we need to wait for at least 1 minute here.
Does not start. Uh-huh. So it starts after 1 minute. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It already
So first
started.
execution already happened here, right?
Oh, okay.
Schedule status also came
Yeah.
in. And even this also came in. One from console and one from log information, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
And the schedule. So next execution also happened, I guess.
Very good.
Every 1 minute there will be execution. See, one more came in. And
Uh-huh.
it says now next is at 11:46. Correct?
Yep. Yep.
It will keep on running and running and running until and unless we actually don't stop the function explicitly. So though it is consumption plan, the thing is it will keep on running. But the catch is because of consumption plan, the actual virtual machine resources will be allotted when the timer finds that okay, this is the time to execute. That time only it
Mhm.
acquires the resources, executes, and goes idle.
Yeah.
Until and unless the next schedule it doesn't get hit, there is no usage for the resources.
Yeah.
Understood?
Yeah.
So this is timer function. Now what I write here is totally up to the exact requirement. Every uh, time this function runs what I want to do. I
Runs.
can increase
Of
the time,
course.
I can decrease the time, right?
Yeah. Of course.
As per my need. Okay.
Yeah.
The timer function is pretty simple. Yes. How
Yep.
do I deploy this? Right click on the function app in the solution explorer. And just like you deploy your app service, you have to deploy it. So there is an
Yeah.
option called as publish, or else you might be using the DevOps practices also, maybe
Yeah.
GitHub Actions or maybe Azure DevOps. So you just
We
need
use.
to
Yeah.
push your code, commit your code,
Yes. That's what we do
and
usually.
there the automated script will just do the deployment directly,
Yep. Yeah.
right?
That we
So
don't use, to be honest with you. So.
eventually, even if you're using the DevOps practice, the
Mm.
automation, right? What it does is the same thing what we are going to see here.
Of
Just
course.
that you
Of
don't need
course.
to trigger it yourself. You need to
Yep.
push your code. Once the code is pushed, the event runs directly on the DevOps server, and
Yeah.
DevOps server then does this what we are going to do manually right now.
Yep.
Process is same, right?
Uh-huh.
So here I select Azure as I'm not using containers.
Mm.
Next, how I wish to host it. Whether I want container app,
Mm-hmm.
if it is the containerized
And dog it.
function,
Yep.
uh, in that case, I have another option also. I may want to just deploy the image. I don't want
Mm.
to actually create the instance and make it running. Then
Okay.
I go for Azure Container Registry. Or else I'm just looking to host the function app as
Uh-huh.
normal code hosted on the server. I go
Yeah.
for Azure Function app.
Yeah.
Next. Here it detects the subscription account.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you have to log in.
Yeah.
You have the option, right? Add
Yes.
an account. Microsoft work, school, or personal account can be used.
Yep.
So the case for me is I already have logged in into this Visual Studio, but
Mm-hmm.
somehow it has been few days since I've used my Azure subscription connectivity. It
Yeah.
says that you have to re-enter the credentials. This is for security purpose, right?
Of
So
course.
I just click on re-enter credentials. If your Visual Studio is already logged in with the same credentials, it
Mm.
should detect it automatically.
Of
Otherwise,
course.
you just save, add new account,
Yeah.
and complete the formality. I just click, see it says authorization code or refresh token has expired due
As
to
expired. Yeah.
inactivity. Send a new interactive authorization request for this user and resource.
Mm-hmm.
I click on continue because my account is multi-factor authentication enabled. Most likely I'll receive notification in my authenticator app, which I have completed and it detected the subscription in that account.
Mm.
Now, if I have multiple subscriptions, carefully I have to select the right subscription where I want the
Of
deployment
course.
to happen.
Of
Then
course.
I go to practice RG. This is the group where we actually have
Mm,
deployed our function app. It
yeah.
detected the function app also. Or else I can create new function app from here as well.
Mm,
If I click on create new, actually it will ask the same details what it asked on the portal for creating the function app.
yep.
If I have pre-created function app to which I want to deploy, I just need to select that function app.
Yeah.
Like consumption, Linux, it automatically detected, and I click on finish. What it is doing right now is just connecting to the Azure and downloading all the credential information, what we call as
Mm-hmm.
publish profile,
Yeah.
using which the deployment will be carried out. It's not deploying anything right now.
Yeah. Not
Okay.
yet.
Now it says ready to publish. If you want to enable the logging by adding app insights here also you can do that. Or else
Yeah.
from portal also you can do that. Okay. But
Yep.
if you click this, the app insight workspace needs to be configured and deployed, which
Mm-hmm.
takes little bit of time. So that's why I kept it
Yep.
disabled. Okay. I
Awesome.
click on publish. Before that, you can see all the configuration is here, where it will be deployed, by what name it will be deployed, right?
Mm-hmm.
App insight is configured or not, what storage account is being used, everything is here,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Show all settings, show me the other things also, like what configuration is there, like what target framework, and whether the configuration is release or debug. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
debugging, even after deployment, I'll have to choose debug. So debug
Yeah.
symbols will be deployed as well. My breakpoints will work. Release
Mm-hmm.
mode, breakpoints will be ignored.
Yep.
Right. And then deployment mode. This is interesting. I
Mm.
am having framework dependent selected here. So that means I am hoping the environment provides me .NET environment already.
Yep.
Right. If I go for self-contained, in that case, a copy of the .NET framework version selected here will be packaged with my function app and will
Oh,
be
okay.
deployed. So I'll be running in my own .NET version, right?
Mm.
That is self-contained. So much like containers actually.
Yep.
And then the target runtime, yes,
Mm-hmm.
because our function app has been deployed on Linux platform, we should
Linux.
select Linux only. We'll keep that only. And
Yeah.
then file publish options. If we want to package everything in a single deployment file, or
Mm.
if we wish to remove any additional files which are already there at the destination, old files
Yeah.
and all, right? So for now, it's a fresh deployment. It doesn't matter what I select here, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Save. And then I say publish. Publish activity starts almost immediately. You have to keep watch on this section and output window.
Yeah.
Will take few seconds. The animation here also says that it's still going on, right?
Yep.
First time deployment usually takes time because it
Of course.
packages the whole application. Next
Yep.
time onwards, it will be incremental deployment only. Whatever is changed, only that much is compiled and deployed. So it will be fast. Yeah, so it says build is completed, publish is succeeded, completed at so and so time, restarting the function app for configuration changes, and
Mm-hmm.
then it says successfully restarted the function app. That means all done.
Function. Yep.
The publish activity is completed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the portal. Here I say refresh.
You will see the function.
I must see the function over here now.
Yeah.
Here it is. See the name.
Mm.
This is the same thing what we gave in that attribute
Yeah.
here. Doesn't matter what name I have here. This is
Of
only for
course.
C sharp code, right?
Yep.
And then I get inside this. You can see the status also. It's enabled. I can
Yeah.
stop the function app from here. Function app stop means all functions inside the function app also will stop. They will no
Stop.
more get any resources allocated. I can disable a specific function also.
Yep.
Three dots. I click and disable. I get inside this. Here also we have option for disabling, deleting. The running function cannot be deleted directly. You have to stop it first. Okay.
Mm.
And here then we have the logs option where two types of logs are there. App inside logs and
Mm.
file
System file
system logs.
logs.
So if you have enabled app inside, those logs will be directly visible here in the console.
Mm.
File system logs otherwise are visible, which you can switch to, and then you can configure like which all instances you want, which platform you want, look back
Yeah.
period, right?
Mm.
And then you can basically find. Last
I
10 minutes,
got
I'll say logs for runtime you want, logs for platform you want, right?
you. Mm-hmm.
And then accordingly, it will show you the logs,
But
right?
what? Why do you
If you
need to?
want to,
Mm.
if you want to
What?
trigger it explicitly, there is an
Mm.
option of test run also.
Test run.
If you don't
But
want to wait
mm.
for the timer.
Yeah. The question is,
Hmm.
why do you need to configure instances here? This is something that will show regardless, right? It's already configured to have file systems log, right? It's
Yes,
not something
yes,
that you. Okay,
yes.
that's
It
what I
is
was.
just
Okay.
that filter kind of thing you can say. Which
Uh-huh.
logs you want to see. That's it.
Okay.
Here, usually for test run, we use default function key.
Mm-hmm.
There is no input as such that we are configuring for the function to receive. I can just
Yeah.
click on run. And if any
Unauthorized.
HTTP response is coming, that will come here.
Uh, I see
Why
that
it's
it's un
coming as unauthorized? Let me try master host key.
accepted. Okay.
Yeah. So
Oh.
because of timer function, I believe this is behaving this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I say there is no HTTP response as such, so no HTTP response.
Yeah.
But the output should have come over here.
Sometimes it needs time. Maybe you need to refresh. Or, oh, if you refresh, okay.
Fog level also I'll change. If I refresh, it just starts over again.
Yeah.
It should show something here. I believe that's because of consumption plan. It actually records everything, but shows it up at a delayed time.
Mm,
I faced this last time also. So if I go for the app service plan or something, then it displays it immediately because
see.
there is dedicated resource for that, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll see this with HTTP trigger in fact.
Mm,
Okay. And
That's fine. Yeah, get it back to it later.
Invocations is one of the tab where we can see details about invocations, but for that
Mm,
the app insights needs to be enabled.
yeah.
Generalized logs also, app insights logs
Mm,
you can capture here.
yeah.
Matrices you can capture over here, like
Yeah.
how much resource utilization was there, which will give
Yep.
you the idea about how much you are going to pay, what will be your
Mm-hmm.
bill, right?
Uh-huh.
Then this tab is also important, like what input it is taking, what is the trigger. The
Mm,
input can be more than one input apart from what input the trigger gives, right? This is
mm,
something now configurable using the attributes here.
yep.
Okay. So maybe to run the function, you need some input from some storage account. You need some input from Cosmos DB. You need some data to be taken from, let's say, service bus. All three can be configured as input sources.
Yeah.
All that data will be available inside function, which you can process. And just like input, you can have more than one output also.
Output.
So whatever the produced result is, if you want to send it as HTTP response, along
Mm,
with that you want to add it to the service bus topic or queue, along
yeah.
with that you want a record of that to be maintained inside, let's say the storage account, you can configure multiple outputs also.
Yep.
Now this UI shows the button add input, add output because earlier the portal based development was possible, right?
Yeah.
Where we are able to add the inputs and outputs directly on the dashboard from here. But now the development is happening entirely at the editor side.
Yeah.
So the input output is always configured here only using
Mm-hmm.
the attributes.
Mm-hmm.
Understood?
Yep.
Okay, let's go back here and see if it has got something now.
Maybe you need to select the instance.
Uh, there is nothing it's showing inside that also because there is
Oh,
just one instance we have configured, right? This
yeah.
becomes relevant when we have more than one instances.
Mm. Maybe it did not. Oh, but you ran it.
It's little bit delayed. I faced this issue last time also when I was on consumption
Yeah.
plan. With app service plan, there is no issue. It directly shows the output here.
Yeah.
You have dedicated VM, right? So it actually prioritizes dedicated VMs for log collection. Though it records everything, but display is something which is not prioritized. Hence,
Yeah.
we are not able to see. Maybe if we keep it as it is, after uh, maybe few minutes or sometimes after a few hours, you should be able to see the logs. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so deployment is done. How to test and run it also we have seen that, right?
Yeah.
Where we see this is also here. So invocations and more, if I click, it goes here only on this tab
Yep.
directly.
That would show.
Okay. And I can disable the function also if required.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll keep it for now. Once we end the session, I'll probably disable it
Okay.
so that there will be no resource consumption every minute because we have configured it that way, right?
Yep.
Uh, so now let's see one more function that is based on HTTP trigger.
Yeah.
So what I do is I close all the files. I will use the same project. I can add as many Azure functions in this project as I want. I need not create a separate project for each and every Azure function to be deployed.
Yep.
Okay. So I just right click on the project and say add new Azure function.
Mhm.
Just like we can add as many classes, controllers, right? As we
Yep.
want. Here is Azure function option. Let me name this file as HTTP trigger demo func. This name anyways doesn't mean anything, right? Nowhere
Yeah.
exposed. So we can have the name as per our convenience.
Yep.
And then here I go and select HTTP trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Then it asks me what is the authorization level.
Yeah.
Admin has got the authorization level always. If I select admin, only admin will be able to make a call. If
I
I say
got you.
function, then If someone has got the valid API key for accessing this function via HTTP request, can make the call.
Yeah.
If I say anonymous, anyone can make the call to the function just by using the URL of the function.
Mm-hmm.
Understood?
Yep.
So I keep it function for making it secure. Add. So just like the timer function, you can see we have got a class by the name we gave, right? The logger is
Yeah.
configured here. The function with this name is configured. This time I'll not change this name. I'm okay with this name for now.
Mm-hmm.
And here also the name of the function by default is
Oh,
run. Return type you see is what for this.
yeah. I action result,
Because
which is HTML.
HTTP trigger based
HTTP, I'm sorry.
function work just like web API, RESTful
Yep.
API. And
Let
what
me ask you
return types we
something.
use in web APIs?
Yeah,
Action
it's
result or
us
I action
action
result.
result.
So it
Yes.
just extends that only. You can see MVC also has been integrated here,
Mm, makes
which gives
sense.
me access to I action result interface.
Yep.
Right?
Let me, yep. Let
Yes.
me, yeah, that's right. Let me ask you something here. Now, when do you use Web API and when do you use that trigger function?
Uh, See, web API will be something like where you have many RESTful requests to be made of different
Mm,
types, get, post, put, delete,
yeah.
right? Very complex scenario. You will use web API.
Uh-huh.
If it is one of kind of requirement, that's where the function app can be useful. And again, another thing is if you are going to process everything based on Azure or hosted on Azure and going to put the output also into the Azure resources only, this is this Azure function is a better option because in API I
Mm,
need to write a lot of code otherwise,
okay.
right? So
So
if
if it's
Azure
complex,
oriented
yeah.
implementation or if
Mm,
one of kind of function is there, I'll go for this.
maybe I'm a little bit confused, to be honest with you.
No need to
So,
confuse. If I have all
ah,
Azure related processing,
ah, what do
or
you mean by
if
that?
it is one or two kind of functions that I want to configure as web APIs, I'll basically use this function.
Okay. So if it's, yeah, if I have only three endpoints, something like that, I'll use
Yes,
function.
yes.
Okay.
And three
W-
very specific endpoints,
Mm.
right?
But if it's more complex, then it will
API,
be a web API. Okay.
right? Because
Yeah.
capability is same. If you see what code goes
Mm.
inside will be the same only.
Yeah.
Based on the need, you will just have the implementation done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
And
the
mm,
security aspect is also something which matters.
of course.
Authorization level that we set, right?
Yeah.
I can change that using this enum
Mm,
function or admin or anonymous,
yeah.
right? And what is this?
Either get or post
What kind of
request.
request can trigger this function? Whether it is HTTP GET request or HTTP POST request. Now,
Yeah.
both being there means GET request can also trigger, POST request can also trigger.
Yep.
Where all incoming data is represented by this HTTP request object.
Request.
What you return as OK object result in case if everything is fine. Otherwise,
Yep.
you have the other also like bad request result, uh,
Mhm.
unauthorized result, right?
Yep.
Depending on the need. All web API features are there. Correct.
Yep.
So let's configure this here. uh, what I want, let's say, maybe some order processing system we can build, which can match your design also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me create a model class here. I just add a class to my project
Mm-hmm.
by the name order. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I make this a public class and I also make it a sealed class so that no one can inherit from this. This is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely a need based thing, right? I'm
Yeah.
actually configure this as a DTO. So here I go and say this is DTO class for order.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's create some properties. Let's say public int ID is there,
Mm-hmm.
right? String customer name is there. Decimal amount I'll create here. This order item I don't want, let's say. I'll keep it simple.
Yeah.
So I remove this and say there is a property of type decimal by the name amount. I'll
Yeah.
make this as nullable string, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so this is the class. I create one more DTO class here for output.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say there is a new class. I'll name this as output type.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what I want is some service bus integration also.
Yeah.
So here I say this is public class,
Mm-hmm.
again sealed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what it does is it has a property, first of all, of type string
Mm-hmm.
by the name output event, right?
Yeah.
Get set property it is and initialize to its default value, whatever it is. So I say default.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what is the default value for this. So whatever it is, it will take it. And it can be null also. So I want to suppress that null warning, hence
Yeah.
exclamation. And then I decorate it with this attribute service bus output. So this is output binding actually I'm creating.
Mm.
Service bus output. Okay. And let's resolve this first of all.
Yeah.
Looks like we will need a package to be installed.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Earlier it was integrated, but now it seems to be detached. So let me go to dependencies, manage NuGet packages, browse, and let me search for a package by the name Microsoft dot Azure dot functions dot worker dot extensions dot service bus.
Yeah, I see it down there. Yeah. You see it down there. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the one that I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get this installed with the latest stable version.
Mm-hmm.
Apply and accept the license. Installed. Let's close
Install
this
this.
and see here under dependencies, we must have got that package. Some other packages also got added as a
Yes.
dependency. So here I'll import some namespaces in addition to what is already there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say I want system.net for networking features. I'm looking for system.text.json for JSON serialization and deserialization.
Yeah.
Then I'm looking for Microsoft.azure.functions.worker, followed by Microsoft.azure.functions.worker.extensions.service and one more in between using Microsoft.azure.functions.worker.http.
Mm-hmm.
So five namespaces I have added. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then here I go. and see service bus output has become green. That means it is detected, right?
Yep. But
That's
it's
how
missing
color
something.
coding works. And see, when I put parentheses now, it lets me know what all parameters are supposed to be, or
Yeah.
what all parameters are required here simply. Correct?
Mm.
So I'm looking for a queue or a topic by the name orders. We have
Hmm.
not created yet. Whatever namespace we had, we deleted that earlier. We will
Yeah.
create that. Comma. Here I say which connection string is supposed to be used. So let's say I'm going to have a service bus connection string in my config file by the name service bus
Hmm.
connection.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I save this. Meanwhile, I just go back to another tab and launch
Yeah,
portal.
that's it. Yeah, that's service bus topic. Right?
And here I say create resource. Let me see if namespace is there. Namespace is there, unfortunately. So namespace we need not define, right?
Yeah.
Queue we deleted, namespace we kept. So here I just quickly create the queue. That saves time.
Yep.
What is the name of the queue that we have configured? Orders.
Orders.
Better I copy and paste to avoid the typo. Name has to be always in lowercase. All
Yeah.
the other things I keep default and say create. We have already discussed these things, right?
Yeah.
It's done. And then here I go to shared access policies. Root manage shared access key based connection string only I'll copy so that we don't need to manage
Mm.
multiple connection strings, right?
Yeah.
I copy the primary connection string and then I go to my
And you save it in.
local.settings.json
Yep.
and here I create comma. Another section I create for service bus connection colon.
Hmm.
The connection string as I've already copied, I just paste here.
Hmm.
And then the connection string that we are using by the name service bus connection is
Connection.
what I'll configure as the key,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
Okay. Save this, close this file, and now get back to your actual function. I'll close
Hmm.
output type.cs, order cs. If you want, you can put these two files into a separate folder called as models also,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
For simplicity, I just added them directly at the top level. Okay. Here, let's say I have a function by the name submit order.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
I have the public function. I'll reconfigure it a bit. Let's say async
Yeah.
task
Mm.
of output type, the class we created, right,
Yeah.
is what I'm looking to use as return type. Hence, the
Hmm.
I action result thing I remove.
Yep.
Name of the function in C sharp I keep as run only.
Yep. But there's
Okay.
something wrong.
And then here we
Comment
have
code.
HTTP trigger attribute,
Mm.
authorization level function,
Yeah.
and I want to support only the post request here,
Hmm.
to post, and then the request object represented by HTTP request.
Yeah.
We have, yeah, it's HTTP request only.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I add another parameter here by the name function context. I mean, of type
Yep.
function context by the
Yeah.
name CTX.
Hmm.
Okay. Here, what I do is I keep this return statement commented for now. Log information is okay. Anyways, it's not going to harm me, right?
Yeah.
Or else, maybe for now, if you want, you can just comment this also.
Mm-hmm.
As logger is already detected, we can actually go for the logger used from
Yep.
there, right? Then here I want to deserialize
Mm-hmm.
the order object,
Yeah.
which comes as JSON in the request body, right?
Yeah.
So I say deserialize request JSON to order object, right?
Mm-hmm.
So here we go. Where order equals to await JSON serializer,
Mm.
which comes from that system.text.json, right?
Yep.
Dot, there is a method called as deserialize async.
As order. Yeah.
I am looking to deserialize an object of type order
Yeah.
from where it is going to take the input from is the request.body,
Mm-hmm.
and then some options I want to pass here as new JSON serializer options with some property set over here for JSON serializer options,
Mm-hmm.
where I say property name case insensitive equals to, while working with
Mm.
JSON, sometimes we assume that the data property names are coming as uh, title case. Sometimes they are coming as camel case, but our
Yep.
assumption goes other way around, right?
Yeah. True.
So setting this option says that whichever case it is, it will map. It will
Yeah.
just look for the name, whatever is the case,
Mm-hmm.
right?
That's nice.
So it works for APIs also, in fact.
Yeah.
Here I say if order is null, means there is no object that has
Mm.
been serialized or deserialized.
Yep.
I'll say along with this check one more thing. If order is null or string dot is null or white space
Mm-hmm.
order dot id.
Then
Okay.
throw an exception or something.
In either case, what I want is I want to return the kind of exception, but as a output.
Yeah.
So here I say var bad equals request dot create response. For incoming request only, I want to create the response, right?
Uh-huh.
It's not coming. Request dot create response. Let's see if
Saket.
yes.
Saket. I'm so sorry, but I got a message from work. It seems like this is something
Yeah,
very
no worries. We'll
important.
continue from here only.
Okay.
Just let me know when we want to connect next.
Let's connect on Saturday, 8:30. I'll send you a
Okay.
message.
Saturday
Yes?
8:30. Fine.
Okay, good. Thank you so much. Sorry about
8:30
that.
EST, right?
Yes, yes,
So 7 p.m. my time.
yes. Okay. Thank you so much. I'm really sorry about that.
Yeah. So you understand the idea here, right? So you can
Yeah, yeah,
explore a bit. We'll
of
just look
course.
at the coding and we'll complete the example. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Have a good day.
You too.